that's the thing though. That's not what people want, you know? Like we've talked about it before. Like there's certain things in the current COD, like an MW2 and the older CODs, like MW3, with it coming out, where like, don't change this. Leave it, you know? And then there's the people who are really diehard and they want that nostalgia. Like I would love to go back and play MW3, but it's just not possible. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 120 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
Justin,
how you doing today, bud?
Good,
man. This is one of the few times, like when we started off the podcast, where we don't talk before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like most of the time we'll be chatting for like half an hour, 45 minutes, but this time we're just like, yo.
All business today. No, I got I got stuff to do in the afternoon, so I want to get this done early.
Busy Memorial Day. You know?
Yeah.
Always got stuff to do. So people who are already listening, we hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend. Bro, the weather this weekend has been perfect.
No, it's been nice.
It's been no clouds in the sky. We haven't had anything.
Yeah.
You know.
It's nice and cool right now. It's going to get hot towards the afternoon.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm going to be staying in the AC.
I won't be.
I'm not going to be dealing with it. Yeah, it's gonna get hot for sure. But yeah, man, summer's thankfully coming, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready for the sunlight.
Yeah,
the heat.
Right. Not to be having to worry about any of that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so over, like, you know, again, we talked about it back in the day when we'd have it would be so dark at like 5 o'clock already.
Yeah.
You know, and it just being like frigidly cold.
Yeah.
So it's a nice change. But we didn't really get much of a spring. Honestly.
No, I mean, like, we don't really get like springs anymore, to be honest.
No.
Climate change.
I was gonna say, I don't know what you want to chalk it up to.
Yeah.
Climate change, definitely. It's ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, I consider spring now. If it's like 40s and 50s, we're good.
Yeah.
That's spring.
Yeah, and I feel like this year we only had like 2 days of that. 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Like we barely had any of it.
Yeah.
Which was ridiculous. We just went from like, you know, pretty cold all of a sudden, like have to break out the shorts.
Yeah.
You know, and be ready to roll with that. But nevertheless though, man, we were gonna jump into it. Bro, we promised this last week at 119. Yeah. We were like, we're gonna do the raid. We didn't lie.
Yeah, we didn't lie.
We did it. We did it.
Yeah.
But bro, we had some complications.
Yeah.
Last night when we were playing this.
Yeah. So we tried like 3 or 4 times playing it, and my game kept crashing during episode 3 of Raid. And apparently other people are experiencing like issues too. And I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, so you sent me a screen, or I was on Snapchat. You sent it over to me to just show me, because you were telling me on the mic, like, dude, I can't see anything. Like, there's just lights flashing, and I'm sitting there like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, what? What does this look like? And then you sent it to me. It looks like, you know,
I was in a rave.
Yeah,
that's
seriously.
what it was. My eyes were. It was like epilepsy.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah. Like,
I mean, I had X-ray vision though. I was frying.
You know what it reminds me of is, like, you know when they show levels, like the early stages of it, and it's all like kind of purple and white. Yeah. You know, just showing the black, like all the blocks and everything. Yeah. It's very geometric. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah. And when we got to a certain like part of the game, like it just crashed. The game would just crash on me. Yeah. And that never happens. And again, I'm playing on console, so the game like rarely ever crashes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, speaking for myself too, like I've had on one hand that many crashes throughout MW3.
Yeah, MW2.
Or MW2, sorry.
Yeah, and the crash, it only had, like, it's never happened to me in multiplayer.
Yeah.
It's just on Raid, which is weird.
And it happened, what, 3 times?
3 or 4 times. Yeah. Something like that. So I want to get it done. We gave up yesterday and played ranked instead.
Right.
Which is like, it's just annoying because we have to like speed run it and get to the part where like I crashed and then we just crash again. Like I can't just jump back in.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, and I was hoping too, like if there were checkpoints there, like knowing the players that are there, they'd be able to launch you back in from that checkpoint. Yeah. Like then it wouldn't be as frustrating. I'd keep trying. But we were like 20 minutes in, like 15, 20 minutes. And that just gets tiresome after a while, having to keep like reload it and do it again. Yeah. But I don't know what we're going to do with it. I mean, we're just going to have to keep trying, I guess, and hope hope that it doesn't happen to you again.
That's the only option. Just keep trying, because I wanna get this done for you guys, so then we can talk about it.
Yeah, it's either that or they put out a patch, and I don't know which is going to come first.
I don't think a patch is coming.
Yeah, you don't think they're ever going to patch that?
Well, season 3's been out for how long?
Yeah,
and nothing has happened.
Yeah,
so I don't know, but yeah, people. I mean, I've seen like Reddit like posts about it that people are experiencing the same thing, but nothing has been done.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't like a lot of people experiencing it, but people are saying like there's a workaround, and like the workarounds are just like don't touch the D-pad, don't like open up the map or anything.
Oh, really?
And like I wasn't even doing that, so I don't know. I mean, we were getting the big puzzle part that we had to do. We did it quick. But yeah, it was just annoying doing all that, and then it just crashed.
Yeah, no, that was definitely the biggest thing. It's just annoying to have to go do it again. Yeah, I remember the first couple of times. I think it was the first time we'd done it. After we got through that big puzzle area with all the numbers, and then we go into this ambush area, and you were like way up there, and I was just like, "Yo, you ready?" And then I didn't hear anything from you. I'm like, Justin? You good? And then it just sounded like the disconnect. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And I got the text too. You're like, bro.
It's so annoying. Like, it kept disconnecting at that part. Like, as soon as that part happened and the ambush happened, it would just crash.
Yeah, it was very strange.
Yeah.
There's one part there. So I don't really know what we got to do. If we just got to get through that part. Because every time, like, great, that is a hard part. So then one of us would, like, the first time was just strange. You just walked up to it and disconnected.
Yeah.
And then I think it was the next 2 or 3 times there where we died and restarted, and then that happened.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know if there's any connection between them. Probably not.
I don't know. Well, like the stuff that I saw on Reddit, people are saying that it would end at a specific part for them every single time.
Okay. And they were all different parts for each person on there?
Yeah. So it doesn't seem like there's a correlation between like, when everybody's like crashing.
Yeah.
So I think all we can do is just keep trying and just like restarting.
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. Like there's really...
maybe the game just needed to cool down.
Yeah, right.
For like a day or something like that. But the only thing is like you need 3 people for these raid episodes all the time, and like our friend, he like we have to basically rely on him every single time to hop on.
Yeah.
And especially now because like he already knows like the sequence.
Yeah, exactly.
And what we have
know how to do it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, we'll finish episode 3 because I want to get it done like that. The episode, I don't know how long it is. I don't know if we're halfway or if we're like a quarter of a way through, but it's been fun so far.
Yeah, so what I'd looked up yesterday just to get an idea, I mean, I don't know anything after what happens from where we are. This guy was 20 minutes into his video, and the whole video was an hour long.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's the math on that? Like just under, like about a third of the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. So... I mean, if that's any gauge, I would say we're about a third. Could be a little bit shorter, maybe like 45 minutes, depending on how good that guy is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, we were going about talking about the raid itself. Like, what we did was really fun. You know, like we had just finished a big puzzle part in there, which I was surprised. Like, you got it pretty quickly. I was kind of stumped for a second. I was like trying to think, and then I didn't even see the numbers on the wall to actually connect them. But it wasn't. I don't know. It was so far, like honestly, one of my more favorite raids because I like just the contrast of missions that they're giving you.
Yeah, this is definitely more, or at least like what we've played so far. Because our first run through, right, it's gonna be the longest because we're trying to learn everything.
Yep.
But like we were like a little over a half an hour in, and we got to the part where like I crashed.
Yeah.
So if that's like any correlation, like it'll be like another hour maybe or something like that, or 45 minutes till we beat the whole thing.
Yeah.
Where we are, but yeah, this one is like more. I wouldn't say like we had that one big puzzle, but I feel like this episode, at least so far, it's just more like you have to find certain pieces of like in the mission to like do different things instead of just like battle.
Yeah, which personally I get really tired of that.
Yeah.
If it's just big battle after the next.
Yeah.
like for example, the first thing that you had to do was, or the first like real thing that came up was the whole elevator thing.
Yeah.
Like the elevator keeps stopping, and then I'd say it doesn't really require like a ton of coordination. There are some times like it was cool where you had to get the buzzsaw, and one person has to be cutting down the door, and the other people got to defend. Like, yeah, that's cool. It's not mind-numbingly hard. Like it's just fairly simple, but it does require communication.
Mm-hmm.
I like a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, me too. Because instead of just like you can't just run through and kill everyone. These enemies are like low-key tough.
Yeah.
And like I would say the three of us are pretty decent COD players. Like the riot shielders that come, you have to double team them.
Yeah.
Because they just like snap on you. Like the riot shield will just go in front of you and they'll just sprint at you.
Yeah, it's bad.
And like we went down a lot in the first like couple tries.
Yeah, it's definitely helped us now, learning from the first couple episodes to have a specific person who's going to be doing everything. Yeah. So like you run assault and I run medic. Dude, those are so clutch. Yeah. Like they just help out all the time, especially when you play them more and you're able to rank them up. For people who've never played Raid, like the first episode is probably going to be hard. Yeah. Just because you don't have any skills. So like, dude, using that revive gun, that thing is so clutch.
Yeah. Well, level up the characters if you can, or the operators before you do it. You don't need to do the raid episodes to level them up. I'm pretty sure you can do the spec ops
missions too
to level them up. Because like assault it's good when I have like basically a jug suit. Anytime that if it goes crazy, I just pop that.
Yeah.
And then I get like extra armor plates and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So it's nice. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, we won't talk too much about it because obviously we didn't get to finish the episode. But yeah, the first couple of pieces of the missions was fun though.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was I don't know. It was more in line with episode 1 regarding some of the challenges that they're giving you. I just hope going forward that they continue with some of those.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I don't want it to slow down at all. I like a lot of the big puzzles where we have to sit around and be silent for a couple minutes to try to think about what we got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it was the first puzzle that we went through was good.
Yeah.
And then like you said, that elevator part, one part that I liked was you had to turn on the power or whatever, and then you had to sprint to the elevator because it would just drop down.
Yeah.
And if you don't get there in time, it doesn't really matter as long as you have teammates on the elevator, but you're probably going to die if you don't make it in time because the elevator, you're dropping so far.
Yeah, dude, that second run that you have to do when you're on the, I think that's the one with the buzzsaw. Yeah. And you have to navigate that labyrinth to be able to make it there. Bro, there's no way you can get there where that thing is just barely going down.
Oh, yeah.
It's a huge jump.
And you make it.
Somehow you live.
Yeah. I dolphin dived right over the thing and went onto the platform.
Right. And your ribs all intact.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's no big deal because if you die, then your tags just end up spawning up on the elevator too. So it's not
wherever you die.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not like it's going to put you all the way back up there and you're screwed and the person's going to have to be bought back or something.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. It's pretty easy. But yeah, we'll have to touch an episode, hopefully 121.
Yeah.
Where we don't have any bug issues. What we'll try when we do it next is different hosts.
Yeah.
See if that helps.
Yeah. We have another week to finish it, so I mean.
Yeah, we got time.
Yeah.
And again, it's probably gonna take about an hour, but
yeah.
Nevertheless, though.
Yeah, maybe. I'll try hosting. Yeah. See because then if it crashes, then it'll just crash forever. Actually, no, I don't think it would crash for everyone. It might just kick me still.
Yeah, and go and generate a new host.
Yeah,
something like that. But yeah, after that happened, then we just went back to ranked.
Yeah,
and we played on that, and ranked's been going fine for us.
Yeah,
we're. I don't know. It's still, of course, it's always an up and down, but we've been playing with another person, so that definitely helps out too.
Yeah.
Having a third person in there to be able to. I don't know, just communicate and not have to worry about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's good. So definitely helps the flow of the map.
Yeah, dude, 100%. We play just the two of us all the time. Having that extra person in there, a third person on your group is a game changer.
Yeah, definitely. Because then you don't need feel like you need to do more.
Yeah.
And he's a natural AR player too, which is nice. So I definitely don't feel the need as much to switch at some point, because I've said when you and I play, and the other two people running attacks and they're not holding and anchoring.
Right. Yep.
They just keep running, and the game just feels they're just outplaying us because we're too fast or
right.
whatever, then I'll switch over to attack. Try to slow it down.
Yeah, but having people already doing that and knowing that they're competent it's such a game changer. I mean, it really is a game changer to have 3 people on a team or 4 people on a team that are all communicating and all relatively solid. You know, it's so hard to go up against that. Like when we were playing a couple nights ago and we had 4 people, like we felt indestructible. We're just like, yeah, no problem. We got this. We got this.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, it is fun. I mean, I wonder how many people that listen play just solo or have like an actual squad.
Yeah.
Man, playing solo rank, that's tough.
Yeah. And like, I mean, based on our TikToks, like if you haven't, go check out TikTok. A lot of people commenting, they solo queue a lot.
Yeah.
And I know I solo queued a lot, like when you weren't on. And there is a threshold. As soon as you hit Crim, like you can still win. It's just not as consistent.
Right.
You would think that most Crim players, like they have an idea of what to do. Like some don't. You can tell they're just carried. And then also some Crim players, like they play a specific role and they're only used to that and they won't change. Like I'll say a lot of Crim players, they like to just run fast like us and just go with attack or a Vaz, but they're not really thinking about the rest of the team of like what to do.
Yeah.
Like they're just going to go out and slay and they're not thinking about like time and stuff. And like if the other 3 people are getting cooked, like what do you have to do?
Right.
You can't just run out and just get a bunch of kills.
No, I agree that there's definitely that threshold. Like when you get up into the Crim realm, like Diamond 3, Crim 1 and beyond, where people are just going to be relatively solid and you can rely on them. I would hope too at that point that people are in comms.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody has a
Most
mic.
of them are. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because I notice that now when I solo queue from time to time, that I would say the majority of the games I play, people have a mic.
Yeah.
Which is good. And people are actually calming. They're not just like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, talking about random stuff.
Yeah. Well, when you're up in those levels, like everybody's trying to win.
Yeah.
But then when you come up against like a squad of 4, like you can tell it's a squad of 4.
Yeah.
And that's when it becomes hard. Especially if you're solo queuing, you're most likely going to lose unless your 3 other teams are just godlike.
Yeah.
And you're all on the same page. But yeah, going up against a 4 stack, you're basically going to lose at those levels.
Yeah, when I start seeing the trades and seeing like the plays develop, people are 2-hitting everything or just pushes that make sense.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, here we go.
Yeah.
You definitely got like a full group of people who are trying to communicate and actually work plays, which it's very hard to go up against. I'll say though, man, like when I got at the beginning of season 1, I was in plat, like you don't see none of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And when I was solo queuing there, bro, you had people just eating chips on the mic.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, so I'm like, dude, are you awake right now?
Yeah.
Like, come on, we got to get going here.
Well, there's a reason why most people fall off after plat.
Yeah.
Because it requires communication.
Yeah, there's like a level of seriousness that comes to it. Because everyone's really trying to push for the next rank there.
Yeah. It's definitely more teamwork. Like, cause when you're playing the high diamonds and like the crims, like you said, the trade's coming quick. Like you can't, maybe every now and then you'll run in and you'll get 2, but that doesn't happen that often when you're playing against those people.
No.
That level. Like you'll go in, you'll get a quick 1 and then a trade's usually coming right after.
Yeah.
And that's what's tough because maybe you make like a really good play, but you just need that other person behind you to make a trade and no one's there.
Yeah.
And then that would have been like, oh, you opened up like a flag cap or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like a hill could have been broken.
Yeah.
If that one kill went through, but then your teammates, like, you're just not communicating.
Not there.
Yeah. Or at least not being able to read what's going on. You know, I find that very often in Search and Destroy. That's like a big pet peeve of mine is when it's maybe like, a 2v2 and it's not you and me, it's me and another teammate. And they just, I don't know, they're not able to kind of see what we're trying to do. Like I'll have bomb and I'm at A and they're still staying by B. I'm like, dude, you need to get over here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I'm not moving and I'm trying to like, I'll go and use the so I know, if you don't use it very much, I think it's actually like kind of underrated using the D-pad for call outs, especially people who don't have mics. Just go and start marking stuff. Like if you're on offense, right, on Search and Destroy, just go and mark where you're going to be planting.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know? Or control. It's like, okay, what do you want to hit, A or B? Like playing CeeLo control. Okay, let's go hit A, right? Just mark it there. Especially you can mark enemies. Like I don't I don't do that all the time, but I've started to do that more recently over the past month.
Yeah.
And it's helped out a decent amount.
Yeah, if you're quick enough, it definitely helps. Especially, I do it a lot in Respawn.
Yeah.
Just because there are no red dots. But if you mark someone, like it'll show up for everyone on the map.
Yeah.
Like pretty quick.
And it
like,
stays with them for a bit too.
Yeah, it's clear too. Like it's an arrow.
Yeah.
Like on the map, like hovering. So, that's definitely do that. Like if you're quick enough to do it. And if like you said, if you don't have a mic, and my biggest pet peeve, or at least one of them, is when you're playing Control or like Search. Like I always ask in the beginning, all right, what are we doing? Like A or B? And if you don't have a mic and you just mark like one side, like that's all I need.
Yeah.
Like now, I know you're going there.
Yeah. No, exactly.
It helps out a lot.
You got to communicate some way. But yeah, and then that's like so many times. That's how search and destroy matches will be lost. Like we've had that moment where I think it was a couple of days ago. I didn't go to where you were saying. Like I think you said we should go A together, or no, let's do B. Yeah, and then I went by A. And then that was a big part of why that like the round didn't go that well.
Yeah.
Like why we ended up losing that round. Like there are certain times where you can play split, but in that time we're trying to get bombed down. It's like, dude, we just gotta get this thing down.
Yeah. If a play is called and it just doesn't doesn't develop, like, because my thing is, especially in search specifically, I hate when if a second's wasted, there's a chance you already lost a round. Like right off the break off, if you waste like a second or two being indecisive and not going to the right area, the other team already beat you to a specific spot.
Yeah.
Like in like Mercado, for example, like the nading over to back alley when you're attacking. If someone is delayed defending and they run up and you already throw off your nade and they run there, they're getting naded. Like you can beat those nades if you, right off spawn you start sprinting
and for getting control too.
Yeah,
just being able to rush up. Like if you're on Mercado and you push back alley there, depending on how that team plays, like you could do this later on in rounds. You could push up like past the tunnel and have that controlled and have somebody already up in top cantina. Yeah, like it'll be very hard if they're trying to push from A. To be able to break that. Yeah, but exactly. if you're too slow or not decisive about where you're going, then they can get control and get that bomb down.
Yeah, map control is like everything. Yeah, on search, like covering everything. Like you've seen me how many times, like when we're defending right off rip, I just sprint up and go the bottom like right door of cantina, and I'm already there. Yeah. And most of the time, like people are not expecting you to just be up there that quick. Or even when you're defending, you can just, if you bring out your knife, you can sprint up to A bomb. And like you won't get hit with nades or anything.
Yeah.
And again, like if offense, if they're delayed a second, you already won. They're not going to expect you to be there.
Yeah. And I one that always works for me, say more often than not, is on Embassy. Dude, I'll just go in most times, like on defense, I'll just rush up. I'll go like by Xbox, I'll wait a second, like towards where the bottom bath is, and I'll push up mid. Yeah. Because that's enough time where they may have a sniper there who looks over and he gives it up, and they're trying to get the bomb down quick. Because like I would say 95% of the bomb plants on that game are on A. Or is it B? Yeah, B. B. Yeah. So I'll just rush up and I'll get a kill. Yeah. Very often. Because again, they never expect you to like, Jesus Christ, this guy just pushed up mid and got that kill. I'm like, okay, well now I'm already back here, like back tennis, have this control. I could go top. Like they're screwed.
Yeah, exactly. It's all, search is like so time based, which is why it's a deeper argument, which we won't even get into, but like the dead silence thing, if you pop dead silence and you get a kill, like it throws off timings so much. Like people don't have an equal playing field when they don't have dead silence, which is why it should be a perk.
Yeah, and particularly too in this game where footsteps are so loud. Yeah, I mean I think it was it last night? I had a 1v4 clutch. Yeah, like that was all down to footsteps. Yeah, and it's crazy because you stayed still. Yeah, you stayed in the same area and they just kept coming up the steps. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like the footsteps in this and Surge, like if you don't have dead silence, you feel like you can't make a play. Yeah, that's what sucks. Yeah, you have to be crouching around all the time. Yeah, that's the only way if you're going to be making a play. and you don't have dead silence. I mean, if you're a trophy player in search, in those cases, and you're left alone, like, man, you're screwed.
Yeah,
it's so hard to make a play.
Yeah, and if you're playing against good people, like, they're not going to give you anything.
Yeah,
they're not going to just run at you because if you are a trophy player, shout out to you, by the way. Need trophy players. Right. Like, your only play, honestly, is just like wait for them.
Right.
Just play angles.
Yeah, and again, if you're a good player in search,
you're not gonna do anything.
Yeah, you're not gonna do that. Like those guys that we played last night, they're morons. Like, those guys, that they should be ashamed of themselves for losing a 1v4.
Yeah, and Bomb wasn't even down.
Exactly.
Like, they just tried. If they were smart, they just go find a corner and just wait because you have to plant.
Exactly. Force my hand.
Yeah.
I would say there's a couple of times where, particularly, what was the game we played? Mercado. No, it wasn't Mercado. It was what's the one I'm thinking about? Yeah, it was a Search and Destroy. What was the one that we played? I'm trying to remember the name of the map right now. I'm just totally blanking on it. No, not Hotel.
Embassy?
No. What's the one we're thinking of with the statue?
Oh, Fortress?
Yeah, Fortress. Yeah. I remember those guys that we played. You'll remember they were so passive. They played like CDL players, and it was so frustrating because, again, we're just not used to that.
Yeah.
But that's how you can play that game.
Yeah.
You can just hold corners, hold angles, and have everything covered. And then from there, like, if you die, a trade can be picked up quick.
Yeah.
Just you have nowhere to go.
We won that, didn't we? They won the first 2 rounds, and we won 6 in a row.
We might be thinking of
a different one.
That might have been a different one. I remember there were some guys that we played where we ended up losing like 2-6 to them.
Okay.
But it was exactly. It was because of that.
Yeah.
Because they played just so slow.
Oh, was that just you and I?
Yeah, it was just you and me. Yeah. No, it was just the two of us when we played.
Yeah, yesterday we played a Fortress against guys that were... it was like 3 crims and a diamond, and you could tell they were all together.
Yeah.
Because right off spawn on Fortress, if you're defending, they know what they're doing. They just sit and spawn.
Yeah.
And just hold angles and just wait.
Yeah.
All 4 of them too.
100%.
So yeah, because I remember that game last night, and I was like, oh man, these guys, they're very patient.
Yeah.
But then we ended up sweeping them after the first 2. We went down 0-2, and I was like, oh god, what are these guys doing? But then they got a little too confident at times.
Yeah, and I think too, like, if you can just get that one kill off them, sometimes that can spark it.
Yeah.
I remember there was one time when we were on defense, and I just pushed right through bottom art and absolutely annihilated a guy. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, they were so shook that we just rushed at him. Sometimes you got to match fire with fire.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, they want to play slow. It's like, all right, I'll go run at you then.
Yeah.
And get a kill, and then kind of like screw with them. They're gonna be thinking like, dude, that guy, he can gun me off that.
Yeah.
You're goddamn right again.
Get in their heads.
Yeah.
But
no, that's definitely been like a thing you notice with the higher tier players in ranked for Search and Destroy in particular is certain people can just play so slow. Now, if they're like freaks, which we haven't really run across guys like that, where they're just chowing because their gun skill's so good.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever come across anybody like that where we're just getting world starred.
Yeah, like by themselves. Yeah, like with no teamwork. Yeah.
I think like the handful of times that we've lost Search and Destroys in that matter, it's just been because of their passiveness.
Yeah.
Like how disciplined they are.
Yeah. And they're usually a 4-stack when that happens.
Yeah.
I know our buddy, he said that one guy was like hacking.
Oh, yeah.
Was it the Asilo?
That was the Asilo, yeah.
Asilo, yeah. I have no idea. I didn't watch any kill cams.
No, I didn't watch any kill cams either.
Yeah. Was that Control or was it a Search?
The Asilo? I think it was.
Was it Control?
I think it was Control.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sure
we like, again, we don't like accuse people.
Dude, he's a bad hacker then because they lost.
Yeah,
guy sucks.
See, that just shows. Like, even if you have walls, that doesn't matter if you're still gonna get gunned.
Right.
If you're playing against a good, because you see it like all the time. If these pros are, like, I mean, obviously they're pros, right? But they'll beat like hackers bad just off pure teamwork.
Yeah, I mean,
they will pick it doesn't matter if you can see them through the walls. Like, they'll either gun you or the trade's going to come instantly.
Yeah.
And now time is against you.
Because there's so many people in the top 250 right now in ranked that are hackers.
Yeah,
and in the iridescent realm as well. And all the time, pro players talk about they don't like playing ranked because they're going to come across these guys.
Yeah.
But more often than not, they can beat them just off of positioning and overall smarts.
Yeah. If they went pure like CDL mode with the 3 other teammates, they're gonna win.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, hacks can't beat a smart COD brain.
Yeah,
you're gonna lose every single time. I mean, even with us, like we're nowhere near as developed as a CDL pro.
Yeah,
and that guy who potentially would have been hacking, which I believe our friend.
Yeah, I believe him.
That guy got wrecked.
I did see some sketch stuff with that.
Yeah, dude. There's on a lot of occasions where I'll see the kill cam, and when I'm like watching it, I'm just like,
yeah.
And it's so hard to tell though. I'm not like, man, that guy. Like, I mean, we've had those moments where we just snap, and you don't even know. Like somehow, the grace of God just comes into your thumbs.
Yeah.
Like I remember that. It was 2 nights ago on Mercado, and I died by the guy, but it was I was coming out of, I think it was P4. Like out of Zig there by the truck, and I was gonna go through the gate, and there's a guy in the cubby to the left. I nearly snapped on this man, just like out of nowhere, just perfect.
Yeah.
But died. I'm like, bro, if I got that kill on him, he would have been like, yo, this kid's hacking.
Yeah.
Well, and I'd have been like, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
like I can't lie.
That's the thing. Like we're not delusional about we don't accuse people of hacking.
No.
It's very rare that we do, because. I know on TikTok, someone was like, well, you can we posted a clip that was saying when people are trying to fake hack and they're like moving their guns back and forth trying to pretend. And someone said that, well, you can get aim assist doing that. I'm like, yeah, like we know that. But we were talking more like when you're trying to get aim assist, you go like this with your cursor.
Right.
You're not like trying to pretend, like tracking, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
But that is a good point. That's just a game that we play because you can get aim assist just going like that.
Yeah,
and like I've done that.
Yeah, and you see a lot of really good players. They'll be doing that from time to time just to see if they can get any info on a player. But then there's the guys again who are so blatant with it and they're trying their best. I'm like, bro, aim assist does not work that way.
Yeah.
Like you can't go be doing that like across the entire map through like 5 or 6 walls.
Yeah,
and then be like. Rush at him and know that he's there. Like, bro, that's not happening.
Yeah, I know the guy that he accused. He had one funky kill against me that I was like, this looks a little bit weird. But we're already up 2-0.
Didn't matter.
And I'm like, this person sucks.
Yeah.
But he was it was right off the break. I hit like the top bar area and he was on the other side, and he saw me. Like I watched the kill cam. I tried double faking him, like going back and forth between the window and like the middle like ledge or whatever.
Yep.
And he killed me going out the window. But when I watched the kill cam, he was just going back and forth.
Really?
Like, and he didn't even like his body didn't turn. Like his gun was facing the wall the whole time, and he was like peeking back and forth. And then when he would go over to the window, his body wouldn't turn. It would just go like this. His gun the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's a little
suspicious. Yeah.
But you still lost. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't really care. Like if we lose really badly, because of a hack, then I'm BS. Like I'm bullshit about that. But again, I remember our earliest time in ranked. It was like one of our first couple of games where that guy was hacking blatantly. Yeah. But then again, he was on our team, so I'm like, hey. I can't complain.
Yeah. Man, don't hack.
No, just don't do it. You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, because then it just ruins like you've seen like the hype of ranked has died down by so many like people and so many pro players, and even like people up like Crimson and above, like people just have stopped playing. Granted, like it's towards like the end of the COD cycle for this game, but also there's just so many hackers, so a lot of people don't even bother playing ranked anymore.
Yeah, it's been one of the biggest detriments to ranked play and just COD in general is the fact that they haven't been able to have a consistent ban or a system to be able to get rid of these hackers.
Yeah.
Because if you're a top player, you're like the chance of you coming across a guy who's hacking is very high.
Yeah. And it's just exactly. So how can you be competitive if you're playing against a hacker?
No, you can't.
That's the thing. I blame going to PC. That's a big thing. Moving to PC has caught. This did not happen on console. It did not. And like I understand why going on PC. Like I bet you if we got PCs and we're playing on like 144 hertz, like or 240 hertz, like everything is just so smooth.
Yeah.
Like it feels amazing. And like they can't, regress and go back to playing on 120.
No, you can't do it. And I don't know what they end up doing with it. I mean, I don't think there's going to be anything coming out in the next remainder of this COD that's going to really change the game for the hacking and ranked. But
just COD in general, like you said, because hacking will always be a thing on PC.
Yeah,
always. It's always going to be a problem. And the thing is, it's like, what's that saying? Like I don't know.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
No, it's like what is it? It's like a Hydra. You chop one head off, 3 more grow back.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is with these hacks.
Yeah.
It's all which, dude, if your job is coming up with hacks, how to break this game, and then you go in and you use it, like, come on. Like, why don't you use those skills for something else?
For good.
Yeah.
Not for evil.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, it's bad. I mean, I remember they talked about this. I think it was last year or the year prior. I mean, it's been going on forever.
Yeah.
Regarding banning certain hackers. I think this was related to Warzone a lot. They were banning just people who were hacking in Warzone.
Yeah.
But the problem is, like you just said, to your point, these people who have, I don't know, say 20, 30 accounts, one guy, and then they get all banned. Well, what's to stop him from just making a whole bunch more, Yeah,
exactly.
These people, they don't have any consequences for their hacks. They just like, oh, your account's banned. Like, okay, I'll go make another one. Not like, but what can you do? What can you do to these people? You can't police them.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't arrest them.
Like, that's the thing. It's so frustrating. And like, it is, I guess, like Activision's fault or the developer's fault. But like, if you really think about it, they can't. It's just an endless problem.
Yeah.
Like, it is their fault at the end of the day because they can't come up with something. But that's the thing. Like, someone has to come up with something to ban all these players. Because I remember when they announced, like, Ricochet and for Warzone. And they banned a ton of people. Like, hundreds of thousands of people. And they're still hackers. Because, again, it doesn't matter. You ban 50,000, 150,000 is coming back.
Exactly.
And the only way you can police them, it would be illegal. Like, I don't know, whatever, you find out someone's IP address, and then you're like, oh, this person's making an account on this same IP address, banned. But like, you can't do that because that's private.
Right. Yeah, it's a real unfortunate situation. I think it's just going to be
PC.
Yeah, exactly. And
PC.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing you can do about it. We'll have to wait in maybe 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Something comes along. Because, again, I think it's only just going to get worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless these developers or, publishers, whoever is really in charge of it, puts something together that's just like, again, like you're saying, like the Ricochet, just something that is going to be near perfect. But
yeah, which is
that going to happen anytime soon? No.
Yeah, no, we need like an Einstein. Literally, like we need a giant team of people to be monitoring this at all times. And again, that costs, it's resources, it's money, a lot of money, and it requires a lot of smart people to figure out how to do this.
Yeah, and of course it's a question too of like allocating the time to that, How important is it to Activision to do that?
Yeah.
Like, do they want to put in the money and resources to do that, to help with the quality of their games, or are they more focused on just the marketing and overall like publishing of the next title?
Yeah, and that's just I think they are. Like, no one wants hackers on their game because it's ruining their game. Yeah, it's ruining the experience. It's taken, no matter how much you market, it doesn't matter if the game's just broken with hackers. And they are allocating resources to it, but it doesn't matter if, again, more people just keep popping up hacking.
Yeah.
They're never gonna like outpace them unless they come up with like some new technology, or someone comes up with new technology that gets rid of all these people.
Yeah. And again, when's that going to come? Who knows?
Yeah.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah, because people are getting like shadow banned, like because they're good at the game.
Yeah.
And like, they're trying to get like AI or a computer, like some algorithm that, if this player hits all these points, then they'll just be shadow banned.
Yeah.
Because they fall into a bucket that, they're considered cheating. Which, again, you can't do that, because what if that player's actually that good?
Yeah.
Like a pro player.
Exactly.
Or, legit people in the top 250 in the world. And then they get shadow banned because the computer thinks they're actually cheating.
Right.
There's no, like, clear solution to this.
No.
So that's why I have a hard time, like, blaming, like, Activision or the developer of, how do you stop this? I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I honestly think it's much bigger than just Activision.
Yeah.
I think this is like every publisher, every developer, like their games are going to be dealing with this.
Yeah.
If you have an online game that's cross-play or at least on PC, this is going to be it's a constant issue. Call of Duty just gets the highlight because Call of Duty is one of the biggest FPS titles of all time. It's one of the biggest game titles of all time.
Yeah.
But I'm sure to some extent this happens on Apex. This happens on League of Legends. This happens on pretty much any game that you can play online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but I was gonna bring something else regarding Activision. We can kind of close on it. I was wondering your thoughts on this. This came up not too long ago. This was regarding Activision. They shut down a Call of Duty fan project.
Yep.
It was by Call of Duty X Labs, and I believe. What they were developing was Modern Warfare 2. They were doing like a complete, say, quote unquote, remaster or remake of Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Just so that it could be pretty much like from the original one that we remember. Everything was in there, but it's actually playable on live servers for people.
Yeah, it was like an overhaul of like old games. It was like Black Ops 3, MW2, MW3, and Advanced Warfare.
I believe so.
Yeah, and it was all on PC, and it was it was like an overhaul. And like I'm pretty sure MW2 and MW3, it was like what Activision's trying to do right now.
Right.
With like the ace, like all the guns from MW3 and MW2 are together in like both games.
Right.
And obviously they got like a cease and desist.
Yeah, this just came out recently that they got shut down.
Bad.
Yeah, it was very bad.
Yeah.
Man, give me your thoughts on this. What do you think about it?
Well, obviously, so this was like happening on PC, right? Because you can't play Black Ops 3 on PC. Or no, Advanced Warfare on PC.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think it's a shame that Activision's doing this because X Labs, the people that are doing this, they're doing it out of just like fun, and they're obviously fans of the game. So that's why they wanted to, go out of their own way and create, fan favorites again. And they're taking it to their own hands. Like, look, Infinity Ward, they're not doing the job that we want of creating MW2. We want the original MW2. So let's go and do it ourselves. And people are playing it, and the game looked good, and it looked like the old MW2, but, like overhauled again. But am I surprised that they got a cease and desist? No. Like, we know that you're going up against like a $1 billion company.
Yeah, and I believe too that they weren't allowed to really do this by Activision. Like, they weren't partnered with Activision.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Like, it's still Activision's IP.
Yeah, I mean,
and they don't have any rights to be able to go and to publish a game that's literally going to be called MW2, and it's the same thing.
Yeah, and that's just, I mean, I'm sure the people like knew that, but they got a lot of traction quick. That's why they got the cease and desist.
Yeah.
The people running it, obviously, they're smart people, but it's just like, I would think it's like you said it, and like you don't, like you have common sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty common sense to, like, if you're gonna go and title your game MW2 and it's based off of a game that's already created, there's legal actions that will happen.
Well, yeah, that was my thing about it, because obviously these guys have been doing stuff like this, or at least developing it for years.
Yeah.
Because of course they're not a really big publishing group. Like, I'm sure there's not like
they're not they're private. Yeah, it's probably a couple hundred people.
Exactly. There's not thousands of people that are working on this around the clock. And I just don't know why all of a sudden this came up. Is it just because of the traction that this was getting recently, and it came into Activision's radar?
Yeah,
and they were like, "Hold on, what is this now?"
Yeah,
and I think I would have to assume that's what.
That's how all cease and desists happen.
Yeah, it came to them all of a sudden.
Think about it. Just using common sense. Like, if we blew up and we called ourselves the Call of Duty podcast, using that brand, and we got millions of listens, they're gonna come after us. Having the Call of Duty name in as a show.
Yeah, I mean, and that's that's where my whole thing kind of lies, because again, we're smart enough to not do that because we understand there's repercussions for that down the line. For them, that's what I don't get. It's like they're investing so much time and money into this. You must know that you can't do this.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if that's common sense to me, but maybe they're just doing this and they didn't expect it. Like, they kept it in their little circle, and because look, Activision, I mean, I don't know. They're just trying to make money. But if only like a couple hundred people play it, odds are they're not going to find out about it for that long. Like, it's probably just going to keep happening. But if it builds a ton of traction like it did, because, Jeff was playing it, a lot of big streamers were playing like Black Ops 3 on PC, Advanced Warfare on PC. Yeah, and everybody's like retweeting about it. And if Activision sees that, they're probably like, what the hell is this? Yeah. Like, they're using our game. Yeah, no, shut that down. And it's a shame because, again, it's probably because those people, they just don't like the new CODs now. So that's why they went and, overhauled the old ones. And they got shut down immediately.
Yeah.
Not surprised that they got shut down, but it does suck that Activision's just like, yeah, we're going to shut down like creators that like the game.
Yeah.
That sucks.
No, it does. And I part of it too for me, the way I see it with Activision too, is that these games like that people would go and put out, that could be competition and going against their new title that's going to be coming out. Because I mean, you saw there was a tweet that they had put out, like it had almost 10 million likes on it.
Yeah, which
is insane.
Yeah,
the amount of people that were excited for this. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a decent amount of people that could potentially just be stuck in that realm of we're going to play the old CODs and start back from square one with a whole fresh community that wants to do it. And that's going to be a rival to the new COD. And they're like taking away our player base for something that we're not making any money off of. Mm-hmm. No thanks.
Yeah, off of a game that we started. Yeah, we made. Yeah. And you guys listening, our demographic, everybody is 26 to 30. That's like our biggest age group, right? Yep. So you guys are all around our age. So we all played those old games, MW2, MW3, COD 4, and we all love those games. A lot of people have dropped off it. They don't play these new tax print games, and I don't blame them because it's not COD. It's completely different. It's evolved. But imagine our age group all just going to that. They just lost a huge chunk of their player base.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know, man. I would 100% play that. If we had PC, I would be all over.
Yeah,
that.
I would try it. Yeah, I would play it.
I mean, part of it too, of course, because we do the podcast, and I think just in general, we like to. I would not say that I would give up the new COD, even if say we weren't doing the podcast. I wouldn't give up the new COD more than likely to go play that, because we're big CDL fans, and I want to follow the CDL and know what's going on because they're never playing those old titles.
Yeah, it would be more, every now and then. Let's just go and play that.
Exactly. It would probably be something like once every week or so. We would just go and whenever we want to go play it or play it casually. Yeah. I know for myself, I don't want to speak for you. I would not give up the new title and throw all my money into if they did MW3 remastered.
Yeah.
From some total side project, I would not be doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. But
unless Activision said that was the game,
the current game,
and that's what everyone's playing, then of course I'm on it.
Well, that's our thing because they're going to come out with another rank system. We follow CDL, so we want to know what's happening in the current game, but that doesn't mean everyone else would be doing that. I would say we feel a little bit different because we're CDL fans.
Yeah,
but even then, there are a bunch of people that watch the CDL and they don't even play the game,
right?
Which is that's fine. But I think we're just more invested. I think it's just because we're more competitive.
Yeah.
Because I want to back up my stance and what I'm talking about. And if I don't play the game and I don't play ranked enough, you can't.
You can't talk.
You can, the people on Twitter, but we're not doing
your point is invalid.
Yeah, completely invalid.
Yeah, your opinion is invalid. I don't care what you say.
If someone's
6 days.
Yeah. If someone's like, oh yeah, I don't even play this game, and then you're saying, why did Octane do this? She should have gone here. You don't play the game.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what's going on.
Invalid.
Yeah, invalidated instantly. But now, like going back with the Activision thing, again, it's on both sides. Like I side with Activision on it because, of course, like they have every legal right and they should. Yeah. But a big part of it, and I don't think they want that repeat of the, like I would say probably the worst year of Call of Duty ever was when it was split between COD 4 Remastered and IW.
Yeah.
Right? That's got to be the worst year ever in COD.
When they did that, yeah.
Yeah, because forget about like, we know your stance on World War II.
Yeah.
Like I'm with you on that one. Like some of these CODs that have just been awful, like COD Ghost, like for again, just multiplayer.
Yeah.
There was no worse time than that year where they split the CODs because they knew IW was what it was.
Yeah.
And they were like, let's go try to cash in on a remaster. And I don't think they want that again. I mean, because that was so bad. They split their own player base.
Yeah.
And now there's going to be another company that would try to do that, and they don't get any revenue from it. They're trying to shut that down instantly.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, top games that everybody like really they like now.
Yeah.
Right. I do think a lot of it does fall on like the COD community though, just because, everyone says like, you know the good times until you're out of the good times.
Right.
And I knew the good times in BO3. People hated that game.
Dude, love BO3.
Maybe you guys should enlighten yourself a little bit more and keep your mind open because people hate BO3 like when it came out and now they love it. Same with Black Ops 4. Everyone's like, yo, that game's so underrated. I'm like, no, it's not because that was a great game when it came out. But it's like the COD cycle, like you said.
Yeah, it is the COD cycle.
And I still stand by like Vanguard was one of the worst Call of Duty. Like,
yeah.
Like the core mechanics of that game, it was fun. But all the other pub issues, awful.
Yeah, and you got to say, too, to that point, that Cold War, for sure, one of the best CODs in the past 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Cold War is in my top 5 best CODs ever.
Yeah, and we didn't even like it in the beginning.
Right.
And we stuck through and played it. And then obviously, Vanguard comes out and everyone's like, oh, Cold War might have actually been good.
Yeah.
Like, it was already good.
Yeah. That's how these, like, again, you go back and you look at these CODs and you realize how good they were. Like you said, the good times of realizing, like, there were a lot of really good things. Like I've said it before and I'll say it again, like that's with a lot of titles, though, on the opposite end, where people look at MW2 about how great that was. Like, bro, that game was a broken mess at the time. Like there was a lot of, like, again, don't get me wrong, come with your pitchforks. Like MW2, I would say is the most innovative COD of all time, along with MW 2019. Like those CODs changed the game forever, and what they did for it. Like both of them had problems though. There is no such thing as the perfect COD.
Yeah, and I remember when they introduced jetpacks with Advanced Warfare. And I wasn't a big fan of it. Like I didn't mind it, but partially that's because I played it on the PS3 when I should have been playing on the PS4.
Right.
So it was just like buggy. It was so slow.
Yeah.
Playing on 30 FPS basically.
No thanks.
Like with jetpacks.
Right.
But what was I saying? Oh yeah. But yeah, like you can't blame Activision. I mean you can. And because I see where X Labs is coming from, like siding as like content creators, like us, right? We're producing content on games that we love and a franchise that we love and we don't want it to die. And then, some big corporation comes in and just lays a hammer down.
Right.
And it's like...
the man comes in.
Yeah, because, again, like, if you really think about it, we'll just use whole numbers here. If 10 million people go and just play those old games, the overhauled, like, PC games, right? And then you still have, like, 300 million people playing the current game. Does that really matter?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like what? That's like barely a sliver of the population.
Right.
And yeah, to us, like I'd be like, who cares?
Right.
But that's me, right? But they're a public company. So if there's any sliver of their community going away and some other company is like making money off of, again, the original creators, you're going to do something about it.
Right. And who's to say what's going to happen to that number over time? Is it going to increase?
Exactly. Yeah,
because I mean, we've talked about it before. Like right now, the current CODs are on a decline, and this yearning for old CODs is on the incline.
Yeah, it always happens too. Because what if, for example, if say Activision didn't do this, right, and then they go like fix Vanguard.
Right.
Like imagine they like get rid of the fucking doors, the windows, and all that stuff.
Fix control,
dude, and the mechanics feel good.
Yeah.
Now that game's like actually a decent game.
Yeah.
And then Activision's like, or the developers, like we made that game, we put in all the work, and you just did a few tweaks, and now you're making money off of it.
Yeah, they'd be pissed.
What? Yeah, exactly. I would be pissed too.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing. Since they're like I'm assuming they're probably like a small little team, and they don't have the man like attacking them saying you can't do this.
Right.
That's the other thing too. I give like developers benefit of the doubt. Like I'm sure there are people there. I would hope that there are people there that know what COD is, and they're like, look, like we shouldn't be adding this. Like this is not the right move, or they want to do something to help the game, and someone above is like, nope. And what are you gonna say?
Right.
Like,
what can you say?
Your boss, like, say, all right, well, then I quit. No, you're not. Like, you're not. Realistically, you're not gonna do that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, there's so many layers to it.
Yeah.
That make it difficult.
It's tough. So that's why when the small fry comes out and they do something like huge, it's great, but the man's always gonna come and like shatter it.
Yeah. No, and that just like, summing that whole thing up.
Capitalism.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's just unfortunate,
Yeah.
It's they had their heart in the right place for sure. And they were doing something. I have no doubt that they were not trying to do this to pull away from the current community or anything like that. It's
sure a passion project for
exactly.
them.
I'm sure that their intentions were in like with good hearts and just trying to be like, hey, there's a lot of people that want this, so we're just going to go make it for them, so people can continue the love of COD. But of course, Activision doesn't always think that way, and it's again, I understand where they're coming from too. This is taking away revenue from them and could potentially hurt them more down the line. So they're just like, let's shut it down now.
Yeah, exactly. And so remember when I said you need to be open-minded? Because I know there's going to be a TikTok clip right here.
Yeah.
People in the comments are going to be like, these guys are not COD fans. First off, invalid.
Yeah.
Invalid comment. You need to be open-minded. Like, as much, like, I see both sides. Like, I side with both of them.
Yeah.
If I was a millionaire, do I want someone like making money off of something that I create? You're the original content creator. It's like if someone took our clips and ripped them and posted them on their like site
and they're getting 4 million views.
Yeah. Like,
no, we'd be bullshit about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So again, it's the same thing. Activision out here, they've put in the time over the years and helped publish and develop those games. And somebody like, is doing the cleanup on it and could potentially make money on them. Yeah, they're going to shut that down, and rightfully so.
Yeah, and then, on the other side, like, as content creators, like, these guys or girls, like, they love Call of Duty, they're big fans, but they don't agree with everything that the developers are doing. Let's take it into our own hands, because no one else will.
Right.
And fix it.
And would we want to play that? 100%.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a shame that, it's Activision. It's some huge company. You can't do anything about it.
You have to see both sides to everything.
You have to. Yeah.
You can't be yelling at Activision saying that they're the devil, and you can't be yelling at those people saying that they're awful people too. It's like, look, there's always two sides to an argument.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be different if they were making their own content, like making their own game, like X Defiant. I don't know. That looks like a carbon copy of Call of Duty in my eyes, and it's just tweaked a little bit, but it's not Call of Duty.
Right. It's like, it's all the best elements of COD that they've kind of wrapped up into a ball with their own spin on it. Yeah. And that's what they're making.
Exactly.
And if they made something similar to that, then, well, again, that's the thing though. That's not what people want, like we've talked about it before. Like there's certain things in the current COD, like an MW2 and the older CODs, like, well, MW3, with it coming out, where like, don't change this, leave it, you know. And then there's the people who are really diehard and they want that nostalgia. Like, I would love to go back and play MW3, but it's just not possible, you know. Like, who knows what those servers look like, you know, all that stuff. There's the people who just, they want to literally live that nostalgia back, you know. I mean, that's why we see all these games here. Like, how many titles are remastered titles or reimagined titles all the time? Because that's like such a selling point in the past, I don't know, 5-10 years of gaming is nostalgia. Just banking on that.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of it too is like, this is just outside of gaming, but our age group, like, gaming will always be a thing, but our age group really created the like, what is it, exploding like the size of gaming in general. Just making that, you know, normal, I would say. Because I remember when we grew up, like, people gamed and stuff, but people didn't look at it like right now. Because it's huge now. And people are more open and supportive about it. So it's definitely different. And, like, we're the ones that want to feel that nostalgia again.
Even though we're 25. Acting like we're 45. But no, we haven't. I mean, and nostalgia is, everyone has that, especially for us, like with the gaming. You know, just thinking about a good time in our life when we played those. It'd be really cool to go back and play them. But I think at the end of the day, if we're ever going to see something like that, it's going to have to be from Activision. And, you know, I mean, man, that's been a huge thing over the past couple of years. Does Activision really listen much to the community? A lot of people in the community want those remasters, but are they going to put the time and effort to actually make those to satisfy them? If there's enough money for them to be made, I think is what it comes down to. Well,
like, think about it. Imagine like, back when we were in middle school, we were playing like MW3, right? 2011 or something. That's when it came out. I don't know what middle school is. Like, how old you are in middle school. I can't even remember. Is it like 13 to 15 or something like that?
When you're 8th grade middle school, you're 13.
13?
Yeah, maybe 14.
Yeah. Well, think about it, right? When it's 2029, like, the nostalgia game for a lot of these kids was MW19. That's a game they want to go back and play.
Right.
And that's crazy. Like, I mean, think about that.
No, exactly. I mean, it's right though. Like, you think now, you're like, that's no way that'll be the case. Why wouldn't it be?
Like, time always goes on. Now imagine us in 2029. Like, how old are we going to be?
2029.
So
5 years from now, almost 30.
30.
31. Actually,
31.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And
don't scare me like that.
Dude, that's crazy. And, like, our nostalgia games are MW2 2009. MW3 2011. And these kids, they're going to be like, maybe they're going to feel the same way. They're like, oh, MW19 was the best.
100% they're going to feel that way. There's no reason they wouldn't. Warzone 1, like, that's the OG. The OG COD. And, you know, to me, I'm like, what? I'm like, the OG COD. I mean, it's always going to be that way. It's going to be strange, though, thinking about it in 4 or 5 years, you know, how we look back at these CODs. Like, these are going to be such old CODs. You know? I feel like MW 2019 just happened, and it kind of did. But with the yearly cycle that they're on right now with COD, I mean, that's going to be long gone. You know, and again, Cold War. These are going to be CODs. Like, you're going to see YouTube videos like the Forgotten Call of Duty. And I'm like, bro, what? We played the shit out of this game.
Do you know how many days we put into this?
The Forgotten Call of Duty. Like, what? But again, like, you think about Cold War. Cold War came out 2020. 2020, I think. Like, it's going to be strange. You think about it. Like, these games are going to be so old. I was telling you about it yesterday when we were hanging out. YouTube page, Gameranks. They did a video on that. Like, there's like 10 titles that are surprisingly, like, old and like 15 years old. And you started looking at them. I'm like, what? Like, I remember Skate 2. Skate 2, I think, is 15 years old, which I'm going to go look that up and make sure that was right. Skate 2 is, 2009. I was like, what? That game is that old because it seems so fresh. But it's like, again, these games now, just thinking about them, I feel like they just came out. But they did not just come out. Skate 3 is 2010. That's 13 years old. Jesus.
Well, think about it, because we were mentioning, like, GTA 5. Like, I forget that I played it on PS3.
In high school.
In high school.
Were we seniors?
No, we were juniors.
Were you juniors?
Yeah, because I got a PS4 when we were a senior.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. Like, the majority of my time that I played GTA 5 was on a PS3.
Yeah.
And I don't even, like, remember that, really. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. I have a vivid memory of the first time I played GTA 5. Like, I remember exactly what I was doing because I think I went to GameStop after school to go get it.
Yeah, I went...
Back when that was a thing.
I went the day after it released into Walmart and picked it up with my uncle.
Yeah.
And then, and I remember, like, waiting for online to get launched, and then online was a fucking mess.
Yeah, it took forever.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I have vivid memories from GTA.
But again, GTA 5 is over 10 years old.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even think about that.
Yeah. So, when we're 30, playing, like, Black Ops, like, 9 or 10 or something like that.
Black Ops 20.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a weird time as we get older and older. These games are just going to get older and older with us.
Yeah, and so are we going to, like, what's COD going to look like?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think right now...
But let us know. What do you think COD is going to look like in 5 years' time?
Because right now, the COD community is in such a weird state. But I also feel like gaming is too.
Yeah,
just in general.
I think it is.
Everyone's like, there are no good games coming out. And is that because, like, no good games are actually coming out, or is it because we've grown up and everything's, like, changed?
Yeah,
like, around us.
Yeah,
like priorities and other stuff.
Yeah, I think it's part of that. I think another part of it too is some of the games that are coming out. I think the expectations for them, they're high. You know, because of just what we know is capable and how much money's in gaming. Mm-hmm. But the other part of it too is how many times we've been let down by developers, especially the big two that we're thinking of.
Yeah.
That when they publish these games, there's so many times where these games are just gonna like, oh yeah, they're gonna get online support, and it's like, bro, you don't even end up getting this game that's in shambles.
Yeah.
By the time it launches there and ruins the experience.
Yeah. Well, like, do you think? Just because we've gotten older, now we have higher expectations because when we were younger, we just didn't know.
Yeah.
Because, like, do you think people, like, our age, back playing MW3, they felt the same way? And they're like, wow, this game is garbage.
I think the louder crowd of people who complain about stuff is definitely the older people like us. Because you're more developed and have had so much time playing games and more experience with it that you just understand. Like, I mean, man, we can go and buy any game that you want, like, any time right now.
Yeah.
You know, when we were kids, that was not the case.
Yeah.
You know, getting a game was a big deal. Mm-hmm. So playing a game, I didn't care what it was like. I was like, all right, well, my mom and dad just spent $60 or they just drove me to GameStop and I'm now... pretty much, I have $0 to my name because I just spent that money on it. Like, I'm going to love this game.
Yeah.
Nowadays, there's so many sales and, you know, again, because we're actually working, you can go and buy games whenever you want. And a lot is promised. A lot is promised with new games that is just not delivered upon.
Yeah.
We've had that from COD, and then that's a lot in single-player games, too, where things are promised from the developer, a certain experience, and that's not delivered.
Yeah. So imagine, like, the COD cycle, like, for us as the player base. Imagine, like, the cycle for the people actually creating the games.
Yeah.
Like, you have to deal with a huge generational shift, like, all the time.
Yeah.
Always thinking about that.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a tough part because the older crowd, like us, that we've had so much time playing video games. I don't know how many of us, like, let us know, but actually went into gaming to become, like, a developer to work on games.
Yeah.
And then, like... they're older now, obviously, and they come up with, like, different ideas, and then they create the game.
Yeah.
And then it's nothing that we like.
Yeah, right?
It's just like a constant cycle. It's weird. Yeah, I think the expectations are definitely higher now, too, just because of the technology we have. The possibilities are, like, endless.
Right. But I will say this, I guarantee you, I bet a lot of money on this. You take, like, for myself right now, I've said it before, World at War is one of my favorite CODs. I mean, that's just nostalgia juice, you know. I guarantee if I went and played that game right now, I would find things to bitch about.
Yeah.
Way more than I did when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. You know, when I was like 12 or 13 playing that game, if that. Like, I was not complaining about that game anywhere near as much. Now, me having played 7,000 CODs and being a far better player, I would be so nitpicky with it.
Yeah.
You know, I would still love it, like, but the nostalgia, I think, would wear off quick.
Yeah, I think it would wear off, like, a lot quicker than I think a lot of us would think, to be honest. Because I know we talk very highly of Black Ops 4, and, like, we did go back and play for, like, a whole year.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing, too, is, like, we didn't start this podcast then. And also, we started following the CDL, like, you and I, like, together, specifically, then. But, like, I don't know, like, if we went back and played the older games, like, how long do you think that would actually last?
Yeah, not that long.
Like, just straight pubs. Like, say the servers are full and everything. No ranked.
No.
Nothing.
No, I wouldn't be as invested in it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, I would, like, going back with, like, the X-Labs things, like, I would be really supportive, and I would pay money to play those games.
Yeah.
You know? But I'll tell you, like, if they were bundled, all those for $60, I'd pay. If each one of those full price, $60, I'm not paying.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't either, yeah.
I wouldn't buy those. Yeah. Like, I would maybe buy MW3 for that, just for the fact of, like, yeah, I really want to go down that again. But, again, you know, the first day we buy that, we're playing a lot. Then the next day, we maybe don't play. Then it's, like, a little bit less here and there. Because, again, like, I've already played MW3. I've played that game so much with you, without you. We've put in over a month of time on that game.
Yeah.
You know, and I've experienced it when it was like the thing, when it was the COD.
Yeah.
I don't really have a desire to go back and play that COD like that again.
Yeah.
I already did it.
Yeah. And you know me too, like, I don't replay games because that's my whole, I played it once. I played it at the peak that it was. If I go back, that nostalgia, like, it's there, but I'm not playing it at the peak.
Right.
Of, like, you know, everyone's playing it. And I already beat it.
Right.
So, like, what else is there?
And that kind of comes down to, like, your, I'd say how you experience games, you know? Because I agree with you. Of course, you have a fair point. Like, the first time sitting down playing a game, you're going to experience it a certain way. Every time after that is going to be diminished, unless it's, you know, years and years later down the line. Like, I've mentioned before, that game LA Noire, I love that game. If you've never played it, it's one of the best games, in my opinion, ever. It's an incredible game, underrated by Rockstar. But that's a game you can only play maybe 2 or 3 times in your life. Because after that, it never hits the same, and it's so repetitive. You know?
Yeah.
It's you know what I mean? It's like The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, it's like when you're never going to experience the first time in anything, like, ever again. You're not going to have the same feeling. So that's how I feel. So, like, me as a customer, every, like, gaming developer, they're trying to target, like, a person like me to come, but, like, what is the retention of this player? And I would say I'm a pretty tough customer.
They're studying you.
Yeah, no, because, like, what did Naughty Dog do right in the Uncharted series to make me come back and replay those single player games, like, multiple times? Because I like Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 is coming out, by the way. It looks sick.
Hype.
I'm not going back to play Spider-Man. Amazing game, but I'm not going to go back and play it.
Right. Last of Us.
Yeah, Last of Us, like, I'm not going to go back and play it.
Yeah.
Amazing game. Like,
you played Last of Us 1, of course, right?
Yeah.
How many times you played it? Once?
Yeah, once.
Yeah.
Like,
it's crazy.
That's the thing. Like, and I would put Last of Us at, you know, top 5 game, like, ever for me. But I've only played it once. And, like, I don't have, like, I'm not curious to go back and play again. I have no desire to go back and play again.
Yeah.
It's like, I already experienced it. So,
yeah.
What makes me come back is if, you know, like, you're a trophy hunter. I'm not a trophy hunter. I don't consider myself. Yeah. I'm one and done. If you know me, if I'm trying to get trophies, I'm doing it the first try, and then I'm done. But if the game doesn't allow me to do that, like, in certain, you know, depending on the game, then I'm not going to go back and do it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's very strange how it works. Because, again, like, I would say that The Last of Us, that would be a game you go back and play because it's very linear.
Yeah.
But then again, like, there you go. You've only played it once.
Yeah. Well, that's that game. The linear games, I will say, I'm less likely to trophy hunt in those and go back and play.
Yeah.
Because it's just one way. And then, you know, the open world games like Horizon Zero Dawn, the Assassin's Creeds lately, like I have free roam to go and do all this stuff in one playthrough. I just have to like clock in a lot of time to do it.
Yeah.
But the story driven games, like all I want to do is experience a game and not like, you know, have my brain go into different directions.
Yeah, I mean, the games that you have to go and do so much, like the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like, I mean, all the more recent Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, those games, because of how my brain is wired, how I have to play that game, I can't afford to put that time in again.
Yeah,
you know? Like, I can't play Spider-Man going back just like playing the campaign. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Because I have to do everything.
Exactly. Yeah. The way that I see it, it's weird. It's like obviously those are two different like styles of games.
It's the OCD in me.
Yeah. It's like the open world and like the linear games, right? The way that I see it is like the story driven games, it's like a movie to me. The open world games, I don't see those as stories. Do I care about the story? Yeah, but honestly, like I care about completing everything more than the actual story, because the story for most of those games, they're not on on the actual like game, the actual core of the game.
Right.
I think one game that did really well on that was GTA 5, because I was interested in the story. The map was big enough and you could explore a bunch of stuff, but I would say the map, like you didn't have like treasures and stuff you had to go and hunt.
Right.
So yeah, like that might be why I enjoyed like Uncharted so much, because like I didn't have to go like trophy hunt.
Right.
And I enjoyed the story. I just wanted to go through the story and complete it, and then like I was done.
And you have to say too, with GTA, like that is a very rare game.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Like being able to do that, and it's no coincidence that that's one of the. I mean, it's hard to argue that being one of the best games of all time.
Yeah.
You know, it's up there. But kind of wrapping up, like bringing it back to COD though, and kind of close on this. This whole thing ties into COD, like we were just talking about, because those older CODs, again, when I play a Call of Duty, my goal is I have to try to, again, now with ranked, it's like that's my own personal goal for what I want to hit in ranked. For the like public match stuff, I have to hit max. There's no other way about it.
Yeah.
Like I have to complete this game as best I can. Like barring the master prestige level 1000, like that's whatever. That's all extra. But really being able to complete it, like I have, like again this season, like we're gonna hit 650 of course. Like that, we didn't even talk about that. You know, like when the game's over, we're gonna be 1000. It's like yeah, no question. I can't go back on MW3 and be like level 42. Yeah. That'll keep me up at night.
Yeah, it's literally It's a checklist.
I have to be 20th prestige in that game.
It's a checklist in your brain.
Exactly.
And like you don't think as obviously, but like multiplayer isn't a story. It's you win or you lose, and you have to like hit max.
Yeah.
And like, when was the last? Like, you guys listen. When was the last time you went back and replayed an old Call of Duty campaign?
Never.
Yeah, like I never have ever.
Yeah, the only times I ever did was for the remasters for MW2 campaign and COD 4 we talked about with IW. That's the only times. I mean, I want to play World at War campaign, but like, you know, I'm not going to go back and play that.
Yeah, and the COD campaigns are good. You know,
especially the ones back in the day, they were really good.
Yeah, but I have no desire to go back and play. No. There is no checklist in those that I have to get done.
Yeah.
I just have to play the game and enjoy it as a movie, as you know, the way they developed.
Yeah, like get intel. Okay.
Yeah, like exactly. See, that's the thing. Like you said, like Uncharted. Like I know you've gone back and collected like all the treasures and stuff.
Yep.
Like in my brain when I'm playing, and if I know there's probably, if there's a treasure there, I'll like wander and get it. But I don't want to train my brain to think like, okay, I don't care about the story. I have to like go to this nook, and find a treasure,
right?
Because in my head that takes me away from the story, and it does,
right?
But if I'm playing like right now Assassin's Creed Valhalla, they give me the freedom and open world to go and do that, and like go away from the story.
Yeah.
But also on the map they just have like crap everywhere.
Yeah.
So I have to go and do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just that's how like our brains work.
Yeah. And no, it's very interesting. It's a good topic. Yeah, like to be able to try to rewire your brain to think that way. I mean, it's near impossible.
Yeah, and like realistically, right, for COD, if I could, I would play the COD campaign on like a 75-inch TV that's like 8K.
Yeah.
Like 120.
Masterpiece.
Yeah, exactly. And then I would play multiplayer on my little 1080p monitor, and I don't need high-end graphics.
Yeah.
And I'd be perfectly fine. That's what I would want.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
You'll have, like, at our places, you'll have, like, the actual single-player room and then the multiplayer setup. You know?
Yeah, because story to me is, or the campaign, that's a movie.
Yeah, I want to be immersed in that.
Yeah, I want to experience that. Multiplayer, like, I don't really care as much.
Yeah, no, I get you.
And then that's where, like, developers, it's a weird mix between, like, story and actual gameplay. Because I was telling you, like, Valhalla, I'm not that curious about the story because you lose it because in my head I have to check everything off.
Right.
And they're making me think like that.
Yeah.
And I go back into the story. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what's happening.
Right.
I'm just like a master right now, and I'm still talking to like beginners in the story.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, oh, you need to do this. I'm like a master right now with everything.
Right. I don't need to do that, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like this is child's play to me.
Yeah.
But no, it's an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say we'll kind of wrap it up. I want to continue it to the people listening. If you agree or disagree with all the stuff that we talked about, especially if you experience that stuff with single player games, because of course, like we talk about it. We don't just play COD. We've been playing other games our whole lives. So if it's the same kind of feel that you have with those games, like the idea of nostalgia, especially Call of Duty, would you go back and play like X Labs? Would you play those games like continuously over the old CODs or the new COD, I should say? Like, let us know because, man, I know I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I'd play them and I'd support them. But actually taking away from the current COD, nothing can really do that for me.
Yeah, it'd be a week of fun.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be a week of fun.
Perfect.
That's it. So again, on that note, thank you everybody for listening to episode 120 of the COD Casuals podcast. Be sure to go to anchor.fm/COD Casuals, where we're on all streaming platforms, as well as go to our Instagram and our TikTok, which are at COD Casuals as well. We've been posting there weekly. So be sure to go check those out and like those as well. Also go to our YouTube page, comment, like, and subscribe. Just to help out in any way that you can. And anything like on Spotify as well, be sure to leave the 5-star rating and answer the poll question below. All right?
Yep.
We good? Perfect. So this has been episode again, 120 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
Justin.
And we will see you in the next one. Take it easy, everybody.
See ya.